The problem with you is you're whining like a little fucking baby.
What's going on, fam? It's your boy, Papa Swolio, back with another episode of Ask Papa Swolio. Remember, if you want your question featured right here on the show, just drop it in the comments down below with the hashtag AskPapaSwolio, and I will get to them as soon as I can. And before you go, make sure you subscribe also to the Daily Swole podcast, available everywhere, and you can also subscribe to my second channel, Daily Swole Podcast, right here on YouTube. Remember, the Daily Swole podcast is available on every phone, on every possible podcast app you can imagine, so you can bang your ear holes every single day with yours truly. So if you like this show, you will definitely like the Daily Swole podcast, so I'll see you there. Let's get into the first question, and this one is from MagicMe79. Papa Swolio, could you talk about the Afterburn Effect and how it differs with steady-state cardio versus weight training? This is commonly known as, in the science realm, as EPOC, excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. And you will create that more with weight training, with higher intensity training. So higher intensity cardio, higher intensity interval training, like HIIT training is very popular for that because of the demand in the short period of time. You can get to a higher intensity by doing intervals, by doing weight training. So over the long term, you will actually be replenishing more and repairing more. That's a very general way to break it down for a short answer for that question. But pretty much the workload that you can do with intervals, you can work at a higher capacity and you can create more of those periods of high capacity output. Therefore, over the long term, your body will be replenishing more and using more body fat, for example, in terms of, picking little areas off the body in terms of increased metabolic rate for repairing muscle tissue, for providing energy to the body. So that's why you see a lot of people that just hammer this long, steady duration cardio. That's why marathon runners kind of look skinny fat. That's why people that are always on the treadmills really don't see any change, because your body adapts to that low intensity cardio, that low or long, slow duration cardio very, very easily, and higher intensity is better for overall fat loss and for physique, which most people want. Question from Veggie B. Papa Swolio, my question is regarding how to rebuild core strength after major abdominal surgery. Major abdominal surgery is going to be different for each person, so it depends on what you're cleared for and what your medical practitioner will tell you that you can do or what that you can expect after the surgery. Obviously, a lot of physicians might not know or be an expert in exercise or what's possible, and you don't want to limit yourself based on what one person says. However, it's going to vary from person to person depending on what you got done. I'm not a surgeon, so I couldn't tell you based on what you break down in your question, but you can do planks, you can do yoga, which is great for total body core strength and activation. You could do spinal loaded exercises like squats when you build up to that capacity, because your body is activating core musculature with any type of overload, especially when you integrate upper and lower body training together. But doing things like vacuums, making sure you're doing the stomach vacuums, drawing in maneuver when you're doing planks, doing hip bridges, activating those muscles in your internal core, for example, balance exercises, stabilization. Just make sure that you're consciously sucking in your stomach and doing the drawing in maneuver, activating your transverse abdominis. That will help activate those muscles while you're doing other types of exercises like glute activation, like stabilization training. And it's going to be a long, slow process. You just got surgery, and the main priority is your health. So focus on the yoga, the mobility, glute activation, stomach vacuums, planks, and those types of exercises that will integrate upper and lower body, but focus on those intrinsic core stabilizer muscles. Question from Jade Sprague, or Sprague. Papa Swolio, thank you for your videos. They have really been helping me learn more about living a healthy lifestyle. You're welcome. What are your thoughts on foam rollers? Are they good to use even if you aren't working out? Yes, absolutely. And I mean, if you aren't working out, you mean on an off day, or you're not lifting weights? Because everyone should be lifting weights, you should be doing your yoga, and foam rolling is a great way. It's a self-massage. It's called self-myofascial release. If someone else is massaging you, it's still called myofascial release. So a massage, or that inhibition technique, is to break down and release and mobilize these adhesions that occur around the protective coatings for the muscle fibers. So around the myofibrils, you have fascial connective tissue that's kind of like a web over the entire body. So you're mobilizing things that can get stuck, byproducts from other mechanisms inside the body, chemical reactions, things that can get kind of stuck and stiff and brittle if you're sitting down a lot. If you're doing repetitive movements all the time, your body adapts and gets stiff or repetitive or rigid in certain ways. And foam rolling can help mobilize areas and allow for, in combination with activation exercises, foam rolling can be an amazing tool in order to improve mobility. So make sure you're not just stretching, you're not just foam rolling, you're also doing activation exercises, which will help you over the long term in terms of building a better posture, both static and dynamic, when you're training, when you're walking, when you're just living your life. So the more mobility you can put yourself through, and just more free movement and not being locked in any one position, is better for your body. Question from Logan Feldman, Papa Swolio, while still sleeping for 8 hours, is there a downside to, say, breaking it apart in 2 separate sessions? For example, sleeping for 4 hours, waking up and going to the gym, and then coming back home and sleep the rest. I would never recommend doing that. You never want to interrupt a sleep cycle. That's a fundamental problem. It's not natural, and when you get into those deeper cycles of sleep, that's the real restorative type of sleep, not just a surface sleep that you'll be interrupting if you only get 4 hours. So that's more of like a shorter period of sleep. You're probably going to feel really groggy because 4 hours you're just kind of getting into that deep level of sleep. So I would absolutely not recommend that. Doesn't mean that some people don't do that and like it, but I would never interrupt a repair cycle like that. So my recommendation, don't do it. Question from Phoebe Logan, Papa Swolio, weightlifting is helping in my recovery of bulimia. Do you have any advice for forming a healthier relationship with food alongside training? I think it's something that you need to come to grips with. I don't know if anyone ever truly recovers from bulimia. I mean, you might repair your relationship, but at the same time, it's always there. It's like any type of addictive personality. You're always an addict. You're always this. And that's not to tag anyone. I'm not trying to put a label on you, but it's always something you have to be working on. You can't sit back and just relax and just do whatever you want. You always have to be aware and kind of, I guess, on your toes, making sure that you're staying on top of yourself and your mindset. So to form a better relationship with food, I really treat my food as a tool. I don't treat it as entertainment or enjoyment. If I indulge now and again, I know what I would like to indulge with. I know my limits. I know how much. I know what type. I know what my body really requires or can handle, but it's more important psychologically, and you picked up on this very well, which is great. And that relationship should be more of a function-based, not so much entertainment. The problem is everyone in your circle, your friends, family, holidays, everything is around food being the exact opposite of a tool. It's about making money. It's about selling you a product. It's about celebration. It's about just binging. And that's the problem because you're dealing with issues with binging. And when it comes to creating that better relationship, it's about how you view your food, which is a tool, which is fuel that's fueling your workouts. And your body is literally made up of what you consume. So if you make better decisions, you will perform better, you'll feel better, you'll be healthier overall. Question from Olga O. Papa Swolio, I have 2 questions. First, how to lose stubborn inner thigh fat, and second, what do you think about the vibration plate? Is it effective? Thank you. Well, you're welcome. The first question, how to lose stubborn inner thigh fat. You can't spot reduce fat. I don't care what anyone says. You're not spot reducing fat. You need to look at everything as a system. So it's an elimination diet is my recommendation to figure out which foods your body is sensitive to, which ones you can handle, making sure that you are in a slight caloric deficit in order to trim that extra body fat, keeping your protein elevated in terms of strength training if you're doing strength training, practicing your yoga, meditation, managing your stress, sleeping better, hydration, all the things I talk over and over again about, but they're basics, they're fundamentals that people forget, but they're so valuable and they'll make such a big impact. No one wants to think about sleep. Okay, fine, but what supplement should I take? Okay, fine. Meditation, but what pill should I take? The meditation, the sleep, the nutrition, that's what you need. You don't need any of this extra crap, extra information online, all this extra shit that people are trying to sell you. You don't need that stuff to get in shape. You need the fundamentals. In terms of a vibration plate, is it working for what purpose? Like, what are you really trying to do here? Is it something that you need to get more results? No, absolutely not. One of the reasons why these things get very, very popular is because you might look at a research paper, and if you compare a super highly trained athlete that does that, you might see maybe a minuscule, maybe an increase in certain things for certain sports or certain outcomes, maybe after injuries, or if they have limited mobility, you vibrate them like an elderly woman, maybe it'll increase some bone density, maybe, or challenge her a little bit more because she can't do all the heavy lifting and stuff that she should be doing because she hasn't done it her whole life. I wouldn't recommend or require that for anyone. It's just some extra thing that may cause some benefits, but unless you're living in a constant earthquake environment, it's not something that you really need. You're better off just doing yoga, doing stabilization training, and practicing real world balance. That's more of a gimmick, not saying that it couldn't be effective or you might not feel a great workout, but I've used them and just not impressed. Question from Thaddeus Fields, Papa Swolio, my wife and I have a number of family members who have witnessed our weight loss. I'm down 90 pounds and my wife is down 60 pounds over the last 2 years. That's fucking amazing. Awesome, good job. We don't want to be offensive, but we want to encourage them to be healthy. How would you recommend we go about this? I would say if you have family members and you want to get them involved, maybe do some more activities. Do some family gatherings where you're doing something active. You're going for a hike, you're going activities outside, you're going for a picnic, you play frisbee, or you're doing something active. When people start feeling, oh my God, they can't keep up, maybe they're going to realize it themselves. So you can do a passive way. You don't have to push it on them. Maybe you buy them a gym membership, and then that's obviously saying you should go to the gym, but you need to do you. And you and your wife are already doing great. So bottom line, you need to focus on you, and you need to just keep an open door, and you don't have to push it. It'll become naturally. It'll be a natural part of your conversation. It'll be a natural part of your discussions when you're having a conversation with them. Hey, let's meet up and let's go do this as a family. And you're saying, no, I can't. I have to go to the gym. My wife and I are going to the gym, working out. Why don't you come with us? If you pull away and you stop indulging in, let's say, stupid family gatherings that are just about laziness and food and binging, and you pull away because you prioritize your health, people will get the idea, and either they'll ask and they'll be curious and they'll want to be a part of it, or it's their life and they have to make their own decisions. So you can't force anyone to get in shape. You just have to lead by example, and that's easier said than done perhaps, but it's also easier done than said. Like, just do it. Just do you and let people join for the ride. You can't force anyone to get in shape, but you can encourage them and leave an open door when they are interested and they come to you for advice. Question from Valkyrie Senpai. Papa Swolio, I have to go to AAU Taekwondo Nationals in 2 weeks, and I was wondering how I can increase my speed and agility when I'm not practicing at my local Taekwondo gym. You're going in 2 weeks. You want to practice speed and agility. I don't know if you're expecting to see a lot of improvements in 2 weeks in speed and agility, if that's what you mean, but maybe if you're going to nationals and you want to practice while you're over there, you could do things like ladder drills. Not that you have a ladder, but you can do cone drills. You could do a lot of low-level plyometric and speed and agility with no equipment. In general, speed and agility drills are done without equipment. You might have little hurdles or cones or things for speed and agility, and there's a difference between speed and agility. Agility has accuracy and has tactile movement and specific accuracy in that movement, and changing directions and decelerating and accelerating. So it depends on what you're really trying to accomplish. If you're trying to get better at Taekwondo, again, like you mentioned in your question, I'm not a Taekwondo expert nor a martial arts expert, but speed and agility, you could do plyometrics, you could do drills, and you don't need equipment. All you gotta do is Google a couple good speed and agility drills that you can do anywhere. So if you have little things, you can take a couple cups from a hotel room and use them for agility drills in your hotel room. You can go out to a field and do some stop, starting, changing direction, some T drills or some shuffle drills. There's a lot of different things that you can do without equipment, and conveniently enough, speed and agility is often done without equipment or minimal equipment. It's just your body weight and certain target points that you're changing direction in. So that's a very general answer, but just Google a couple different agility and speed drills and you'll be fine. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me for this episode of Ask Papa Swolio. Remember, if you want your question featured right here on the show, just drop it in the comments down below with the hashtag AskPapaSwolio, and I will get to them in an upcoming episode. And remember to subscribe to the Daily Swole podcast. I'll put the links in the card and the descriptions down below, and you can subscribe on Apple, on Android, every single podcast app. I go live every single day also on my second channel, Daily Swole Podcast, so you can subscribe there as well so you can catch all the live casts. And if you enjoy these episodes, you're going to love the podcast. I'll see you over on the Daily Swole, and I'll see you real soon for the next Ask Papa Swolio. Peace out, fam.
Click the link, motherfucker! Click the link! Click the link! Watch another video, like and subscribe. I know you want to. You know you want to. Come on, everyone knows you want to. You love Papa Swolio. You love the man bun. You love the sick bugging gains. You love it. Oh, oh, oh. You love it. Oh, 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 oh.